Okay, lesson 24, the sums of trig functions and combining functions. So the first thing it says here is to draw reference triangles to evaluate, and notice it's saying do not use a calculator. So we've done this before, but this time we're going to be using both of the special triangles. So I'm going to draw each one here first, so I'll have it to refer to, and label it with its dimensions. Okay, so here I have 3 times the square root of 2 over 4 times the sine of 45. Sine of 45 is 1 over the square root of 2. Plus 5 over 4 times cosine of 60 is 1 over 2. And then this one's times cosine of 30. Cosine of 30 is square root of 3 over 2. Now let's simplify this. So when I multiply these together, the square roots of 2 will cancel. I get 3/4. I multiply these together, I get 5 over 8. When I multiply these together, I get a 3 times 5, which is 15, and that's over 8. So obviously I need to get a common denominator, so we're going to change that one. And then it's 11 minus 15, and we get negative 4 over 8. So we get negative 1/2. Okay, number 2 says, given this function of f and g, find g circle f of negative 5. So what that means is you're going to find f of negative 5, and whatever that is, that answer you'll put into the g function. So f of negative 5, that's the first thing we got to figure out. So I'm going to put a negative 5 here. When I do that, I get negative 5 plus 7 over negative 5. That's 2 over negative 5, so that's negative 2/5. So now I'm going to do g of negative 2/5. And that means I want to stick it in this equation here. So I get negative 2/5 squared minus 5. That's going to give me 4 over 25 minus 5. That's 5 over 1. So we're going to get a common denominator. And we're going to have, what, 125 here? Okay, so we have 4 minus 125. That's negative 121 over 25. Okay? Number 3 says, if f is this and g is that, find f of 30 plus g of 180. So that means I'm going to take 30 and plug it into the f function. So I'll get the sine of 30 plus, and plug 180 into the g function. That's the cosine, and then 180. Now sine of 30, and you go back to your special triangle if you want to look at it. The problem is the special triangle doesn't tell you what quadrant you're in. When you're in the first, it isn't going to matter, but you got to be careful here. So 30 here. So sine of this is 1/2. And then 180 degrees is right here. Sorry, you can't see. 180 degrees is right here, so we're using that coordinate on the unit circle, which is negative 1, 0. And cosine is the first one, so it's negative 1. So you're going to add those together, you get negative 1/2. Okay? So number 4, we are going to do a combining a function. This means multiply f and g together. Now it's easier to plug the number in and then multiply it than to multiply this and then plug the number in. So I'm going to find f of 3, which is 3 plus 4, which is 7, and I'm going to find g of 3, which is 3 squared minus 6 plus 1. That's what, 4? Then fg of 3 means f of 3 times g of 3. That's what it means. So you're going to get 7 times 4, and you get 28. Okay? Now this one means, obviously, division. So this means f of 4 divided by g of 4. So, of course, I want to find each one of those first. So, f of 4 is going to be 9 minus 16. So, that's going to be negative 7, right? And g of 4 is going to be 3 minus 4. So, that's negative 1. So, to do this, I'm going to have negative 7 over negative 1, or 7. Make sure you're showing your work like this. This is telling me that you understand what this notation means. So on this one, we're going to do some combination of different things. Obviously, if it's a plus, it means add them together. Minus means to subtract them, okay? So, it's saying these are all like of 1 when we get down to this part. But this actually says find f plus g of x. So, f plus g of x is going to be f of x plus g of x. So that's going to be 4x squared plus 3x plus 2 for f, and then you need to add g to it. So you just combine your like terms. You got 6x squared. You got, 2x. And then you'll have negative 1. Okay? Then it said find f minus g of x. Okay, so you're going to do the 4x squared plus 3x plus 2. Now, because this is minus, I didn't put these in parentheses because, you know, it didn't change order of operations. But when it's minus, you better, or you end up in with a problem here. So this is going to be 4x squared plus 3x plus 2. Then you need to distribute that negative. So you got 4 minus 2, you got 2. I got 3x and x, that's 4x. 2 and 3, I got 5. Okay, now we want to find f of 1. So it's going to be 4 times 1 squared plus 3 times 1 minus 2. That's 4 plus 3, which is 7 minus 2. Wait a minute. Yeah, 4 plus 3 is 7. Or is that a plus? I'm sorry, that's plus 2. I knew something was wrong there, but something didn't look right to me. So that's a 9. Okay. G of 1. So we're going to put 1 into the g function. So put 1 for x plus 2 and 1 squared. So this is negative 3 minus 1, which is negative 4, plus 2, which is negative 2. Okay, now the last one is f plus g of 1. Now I know that that means f of 1 plus g of 1. And I've already done those. So I'm going to do 9 plus negative 2, which is 7. Okay? These are not hard. Okay, for this one, anytime you see that circle, that's not multiplication. That's a combination. So that means you're going to find f of 4 and then put that value into g. So let's find f of 4. Yeah, first I thought it was negative. Okay, so put a 4 right here, and we're going to get 9 over 4, right? Now we want to put 9 over 4 into g, so we're going to find g of 9 over 4. And that's going to be 9 over 4 squared plus 2. So that's 81 over 16 plus 2. Of course, that 2 is over 1, so we're going to get a common denominator. So that's going to give us what? 113 over 16. Now it's multiple choice, so you can think about reducing it, but you know, it's not even. 2 and 4 aren't going to go into it, so I'm going to reduce anyway. And of course, that's A. There you go.